The Hamster and the Great Rat, a fable inspired by an ancient story of Li Si, Chancellor of Qin, more than 2,000 years ago. A young scholar named Li Si observed two kinds of mice. One lived beside a filthy latrine, feeding on waste and fleeing whenever people approached. The other lived in a granary, surrounded by grain in abundance, unafraid of humans. Li Si drew a conclusion: a mouse's fate depends on where it lives. Inspired by this realization, he left his humble position, traveled west to Qin, and eventually became one of the most powerful men in China. Centuries later, in a county granary, there lived a great rat. He was enormous, well-fed, and respected among his kind. He had a large family and countless descendants. Food was plentiful, and although a cat guarded the granary, it rarely bothered hunting mice anymore. The great rat often told his children, "We are all mice. The difference is where we live." He firmly believed that environment determines destiny. Then one day, he met a hamster. The hamster lived in a beautiful cage. Inside were toys, a running wheel, soft bedding, fresh water, and endless treats. The little creature was round, fluffy, and adorable. The great rat had never seen such luxury. "Brother," he asked, "how do you live so well?" The hamster proudly replied, "Because humans like me. They feed me. They protect me. They take care of everything." The great rat was astonished. For years he had believed that location was everything. Now he began to suspect something else. Perhaps appearance mattered even more. From that day on, he visited the hamster regularly. He observed that the hamster never searched for food, never worried about predators, never built shelters, never fought for survival. Humans did everything for him. One afternoon, the granary cat approached the cage and growled threateningly. The great rat fled in terror. The hamster merely rolled over and continued sleeping. The cat eventually walked away. The great rat was deeply impressed. At last he concluded, neither environment nor appearance is the real secret. The true secret is having someone powerful behind you. The hamster agreed. Life seemed perfect. Then disaster struck. One autumn night, a massive fire engulfed the granary. Flames consumed the building. Smoke filled the sky. Mice, workers, and even the cat ran desperately for their lives. The great rat escaped with a few of his children, but his mate perished in the fire. Heartbroken, he assumed the hamster had surely died as well. Yet outside the burning granary, he found the hamster safe and unharmed. The hamster's owner had moved him to safety hours before the fire began. The great rat stared in amazement. "I understand now," he said. "Environment isn't everything. Appearance isn't everything. The greatest blessing is protection. You don't even have to face the dangers that the rest of us endure." The hamster smiled. Perhaps he was right. Months passed. The burned granary was gone. The great rat returned to the miserable life of his youth, living near the town latrine and scavenging for scraps. The hamster, meanwhile, continued enjoying comfort and security. Then another misfortune arrived. An investigation revealed that corrupt officials had been stealing grain and had set the fire to cover their crimes. Several people were arrested. Among them was the hamster's owner. Suddenly, no one fed the hamster. No one cleaned his cage. No one refilled his water. Day after day, the food bowl remained empty. The hamster grew weak, thin, dirty, hungry. For the first time in his life, he understood something. His cage had never been a palace. It had always been a prison. When his owner cared for him, it looked like luxury. When the owner disappeared, it was merely a cage. One evening, the great rat came to visit. Seeing the hamster near death, he chewed relentlessly at the metal bars. His teeth cracked and bled. At last, the cage door broke open. The hamster stepped onto real earth for the first time. He felt the wind, smelled the night air, saw the open sky. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he turned to the great rat. "I was wrong. I thought environment was everything. Then I thought appearance was everything. Then I believed powerful connections were everything. But now I know. Freedom is the most precious thing of all." The great rat nodded. Together, they moved into a small burrow near the old latrine. The hamster learned how to dig tunnels, how to find food, how to avoid cats. Life was harder, but it was free. The two mice believed they had finally discovered the secret of life. The great rat said, "Survival is what matters most." The hamster replied, "Freedom is life's greatest treasure." All the mice agreed. Yet none of them knew that, on that very day, a new notice had been posted at the county office. Due to a severe mouse infestation, a county-wide extermination campaign would begin immediately. The hamster was learning how to dig. The great rat was teaching him how to avoid cats. Both studied diligently, because every mouse believed that if it could discover the secret of success, it could control its own destiny, and neither realized that destiny had already moved on without them.